Hello, wonderful. This is Sarah, and I am here with Imad Jbara, and I love his message. He helps men and women overcome trauma through a journey of self-discovery so they can rock dating. Great conversation. We're already like so aligned with like 15 things. Like, ooh, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. So, tell people a bit about what you do and why it's important to you.
All right, and it's funny, we were just talking about this a couple of minutes ago. But so initially, like when I started as a dating coach, I focused on the very superficial level of kind of meeting people and interacting. So like, and as you've heard of like pickup artists and all this kind of, you know what I'm talking about, just the very sleazy, sketchy stuff that you kind of hear about in the beginning, the early 2000s. And I learned a lot of kind of how I started through that. I'm like, oh my God, like if I learn these things, I'm gonna attract these women and they're gonna like me and they're gonna fall in love and I'm gonna be happy and yada, yada, yada. So what I did is I learned that stuff, I implemented it, but the thing is the girls only found love with the idea of me because it was a facade. It wasn't truly who I was. So after a specific amount of time, I would end up getting rejected, heartbroken, and until I started shifting kind of the root cause, like why am I really struggling with these women? Is it because I'm not saying the right thing, or is it because I truly don't believe that I'm valued or I am worth something? Then it
Mhm.
started to shift. And even when I started working with my clients, I would teach them like the superficial stuff, and they were getting success, but it wasn't long term until I started kind of implementing. And I also have a cognitive behavioral psychology background, so I started implementing a lot of the tactics in my sessions, and then my results just skyrocketed. It was like night and day because these men and women were actually becoming the best versions of themselves instead of just showing the world, oh my God, I can fake it till I make it. No, I don't believe in that. I don't like that.
Call it bringing in your representative. Like you bring your representative into the date. And I hear some people and they're like, "Ooh, yeah, I want to work on that and bring in my representative." It's like, well, do you want them bringing in their representative? No. It's like, okay, cool, I got it. So you're not going to be your authentic self, but you want them to bring their authentic self. Is that what I'm hearing? And they're like, well, when you say it that way.
I love that. I've never thought of it that way.
But we talked too, because when you hire just a pure dating coach
Yeah.
who is not addressing some of the inner work, and some people do, some people don't, but that's a question worth asking, because then you may learn the right pickup line, but how is that going to help you 2 years into the relationship?
It's the money.
Right? It's not going to work. Well, so why do you feel like it's so important to find that, to overcome that trauma through self-discovery?
Well, the truth is, and as you may have, you've worked with many people, so this might have come up, but a lot of people project their parents onto their partner.
Mhm.
So for instance, if you're a young child and you were neglected, or your parents didn't show you enough love, or they didn't treat you well or protect you. Like for women, usually the father didn't make them feel safe,
Yeah.
and for the sons, for the men, the mother didn't give them enough love. So
Yeah.
what they do now is they project it onto their partner. So the daughter wants the man to like be her like quote unquote savior. That's why they say daddy issues. But now she clings onto the first man who's showing the alpha masculine man who's going to protect her, who's going to provide for her, who's going to do all this stuff, even though he's a complete nah. You know what I mean? I don't use what I mean, but it's a complete
Yeah.
asshole. You know what I mean? Like so. But then it's like she's kind of now balancing out what's more important to me: my protection, my safety, or somebody treating me well. And then with the son, their mom cooks for them, cleans for them, does their laundry, does everything. And now when he expects that of his partner and she doesn't do that, now he feels unloved because he's putting the expectation on her that he would expect from his mother. But at the end of the day, she's not your mother. He's not your father. You have to give them a whole new identity. Like just let them be. And now what happens is now they project it on their dating before they even get into the relationship. Text me now, text me later, do this. And I tell them like, breathe.
Mhm.
It's okay. You don't need that person to validate who you are. And I believe like my brand is all about being high caliber. You're a high caliber individual. A
Yeah.
high caliber man and woman doesn't need a woman, doesn't need a man to be happy.
Yeah.
They take responsibility for their action. They're not looking for the world to validate their success or validate who they are. They genuinely internally believe that. And that's kind of like that's the idea where it's like I spend like the first four weeks with them focusing just on mindset. I don't care about any tactic. I don't care about any pickup, anything to like communicate. Just let's let's redefine all your beliefs. And then once we can do that, now let's start. Now let's start talking. Let's start being charming. Let's get charismatic.
Well,
You know?
confidence is hard to fake. Like true confidence, a true settledness in who I am and what I'm looking for is very sexy. And neediness is very not sexy. I need you to like me. I need this to work out. I need you to take care of me. I need you to this. It is a really energy that deflects high caliber humans.
Yeah.
Right? It
resonates.
attracts codependent humans. Oh, they need me. Ooh, yes, I can control them. I can do this, right? But there's high caliber individuals, which you and I are in the process of helping people through that journey. And
Of course.
yeah. So I know a question that I always ask, especially my men who work with men, is where are all the good guys? Where, and in this case, where are all the good girls? If you're a good guy or a good girl,
okay.
I love, yeah.
So I like the analogy. I'm like, I define it as look for your partner like you're buying a car. All right, hear me out. Sounds crazy, but have you ever bought a car before?
I bought a car last year.
I love how excited you got. I love it. You're just like, oh my God, this is awesome.
I love my car. I'll take a picture when it's over this. Yes.
Okay.
Me like, this is who I am now. I'm successful. I'm this. Like it was a big piece. It was a big identity shift for me. Yeah, buying that car. Because before it's like, this is all that I drive. And
No, I
now it's
love
like,
that.
yes, this is who I am. Not
You
because
own
I'm
it.
based on just on a car. That sounds super superficial. But it was an identity shift in investing, right? So I love that analogy. I'm already in.
You're high caliber, like I said, exactly. It's not. It's more. It's not about the car. It's about the idea and the belief that just grew from buying that car. So I love that. I'm with you 100%. So I tell them, I'm like, when you want to buy a car, let's just say, look, Toyota. You want to buy a Toyota Camry 2018. A red Toyota Camry 2018. You're very specific in what you want. You write it down, and then now you start walking about your day. And now what a miracle! Now you're seeing that car everywhere. You're like, wait a minute, that's weird. I never realized how many people bought this car. And you're like, interesting. You're driving now, you're literally seeing it everywhere you go. And people think, oh my God, it's a miracle, it's a sign. The truth is, when you give your brain instructions to look for something, now it's on hard drive. Now it's on like overdrive, trying to find everything to reflect on what its objective. And same thing applies in terms of kind of dating, where it's like now you have an idea of what you want. So now your brain's looking for every opportunity to find what you're looking for. When you sit here and say, oh my God, men ain't, or women ain't, you know what I mean? And all the bad women are out here. Well, guess what? Now you're training your brain to look for everything you don't want.
Woo! Say it again. Okay, I want to really solidify what you said. I'm putting my coffee down. Okay, so, and I believe that when you are looking for a car, I was looking for my car and it was like, okay, I started seeing that car everywhere. Ooh, I kind of like that. I kind of like that. If I am telling myself, everyone out there is evil, or everyone out there is bad, or everyone out there is scammers, or everyone out there is sketchy, or everyone out there is whatever, my brain is going to try to make myself believe myself.
You won't find the good in people. You won't find the good people no matter what. And it's psychological. It's completely psychological. And when I say be specific, I also mean like be specific in looks. I tell people when people say, oh, well, looks don't matter, that's BS. Looks matter because looks are a part of attraction. Attraction is not just based on physical, it's based on emotional, intellectual, but at the same time, it's still an important component of it. So be specific in what you want. If you want a specific hair color, do it. Don't feel bad. Don't feel guilty because the world told you don't be shallow. Who cares? I want you to get what you want. And then it's kind of like defining a car. I want the safety features. I want this look. I want this aesthetic. I want this speed. I want this mileage. Same thing. I want her to be confident in herself. I want her to help me on my journey. I want her to protect me. I want her to feel safe. Same thing like a car. I want her to look like this. You're literally going through the same process. That's it. So it's like the same amount of research you do in finding a car and writing down everything you want. Do that with the woman. Do that with the man. And again, I'm not trying to compare them to objects, but what I'm trying to say is the idea around it is exactly the same. Be specific in what you want. Not because, and I get it, a lot of people say, well, law of attraction. And I get that does work to a certain extent because you attract what you put out. But at the same time, I'm talking more on a completely psychological basis, where it's like your brain is always working for you. And it's like a little kid, it's like a child, or a puppy. It wants to pee and poop everywhere. You have to train it to not do that. You have to train it to be on your side. You have to train it to be your best friend instead of your enemy. You don't want it to bite you. You want it to help you.
I love that. So I talk about language in terms of what suits. Okay. So what suits. And when I'm buying a car, there's a difference in somebody may want like the soccer mom thing and like the sliding vans, and that's what suits them in this stage of life. And people don't feel bad about getting a car that suits them, or maybe they want a pickup truck to be able to haul things, or maybe they want a sports car to be able to get fast places, or whatever it is, right? But you don't feel bad about saying this is what safety features suit me. But when it comes to dating, when you say what suits me, you better have the answer. You better know, and you better not feel bad, because if it's just like, well, I'm just hoping someone chooses me. I'm just hoping I find someone. I'm just hoping, right? You get yourself in a mess, right?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. So do you have any suggestions once you've kind of done that healing journey and thought about what you're looking for and being really clear in that? What do you tell people their next step should be?
Purpose.
Okay.
For men, purpose. Complete, and especially when I work with men, I tell them majority of it, and with women I have a whole different, and I'll break down both aspects.
Sure, yeah.
So with men, I tell them the most important thing you can focus on is your purpose. That's it. Because at the end of the day, women want a man who they feel like they can trust, who they feel like they can lead. Strictly, again, this is strictly biological. Women have always went for the tribe leaders. They want the leaders. They want the men who are going to protect them, who are going to provide for them. No matter how you look at it, that's just how it is. We are animals. We are creatures. If you can't provide, if she can't get the tribe leader, she can go for the second best, and then third best, and then fourth best. And then after that, it's like, well, do I really want him? I don't really know. He's not really providing any value. So when you focus on your purpose, now you're not distracted by anything around you. Now, nothing's a priority except your vision and your goal. And when women see that, they're so attracted. They're like, all right, you are somebody that I can see myself building a journey with, and I can compliment you. You can compliment me. Now we can grow something. I tell women all the time when they want to find a man, I'm like, find a competent man. If you can't find a competent man, you're going to regret it. I'd rather you be single until 35 and then stay in a long-term relationship than you find somebody at 28 and get married and then get divorced in like 30.
Well, and don't get a 40-year-old man who you think you can train to become competent. Like, that's what I see too. It's like women, well, if I just love them and if I help them, and they fall in love with that potential with the hopes of changing the person, which I have not seen work. Have you seen?
It's never. If a man or woman changes for you, no matter what, biologically, we're always going to revert to our natural default setting. So like, hypothetically speaking, we're together and now I tell you, like, I don't like the way you brush your teeth. I just don't like it. It pisses me off. It annoys me. That little change, just that little, it's so insignificant. Now you just started building resentment.
Yes.
That resentment's going to grow and it's going to grow and it's going to grow. And then one point you're going to flip out and you're going to go back to exactly brushing it the way you did, because it wasn't your own choice. It was my influence. Yeah. That's why when I tell guys and girls, I'm like, well, they'll change. The man has to change because he wants to better himself to be with you. There's a difference between him feeling like he's forced to do it and him doing it because he's like, you know what, she's right. I do need to do this because this will help me get to where I need to get to. It's different than being like, she's going to dump me if I don't, change my ways or.
Yeah. Well, and so what type of woman raises themselves and raises their vibration and raises who they are in a way that creates that a guy would signal, whoo, I need to step up my game for her. So, but in a powerful energy rather than a forced, yeah, you need to do this. You need to, what type of woman, what are some qualities women should have?
The top quality that for me that I look for, and I have extremely high standards, I need to admire you. That for me is you need to obviously like have like other stuff, but for me, I need to admire you. I need to be like, you know what? I'm so proud to call you my woman. I'm so proud to be around you. You make me better. A man, but when I say make better, like I have to define, not you having to remind me that you're helping me be better. just with your actions.
With actions, yeah, not you should be
You
lucky,
know,
man.
yeah, I'm out. I don't deal with that. I'm out. There's no point because it's like when I'm with a woman, I want to feel like, and like one thing I'll never forget. Like I was talking to a girl a couple of months ago,
Mhm.
and one thing I really really loved about her was she complained, but she complained about things that I thought were attractive. You know how
Okay.
people she'll come home. She came home and she came and we talked and she told me, oh well, you know how someone goes like, oh well, I hated Becky at work. She did this, she talked this, and now my boss is mad at me and whatever. And it's all drama. And I'm like, all right, I'll listen. I'm not gonna, what I mean, I get it. You want to vent, completely get it.
Mhm.
What she was complaining about was, I hate the fact that we are in these meetings for 10 hours when we can do them in 3 hours, get more done, get more efficient, and now move to the next step and get something else done. So now we have less time to do more work for the rest of the week. I'm like, you're complaining about the fact that your company is not efficient enough? Sexy. Sexy.
I agree completely, and I really want to hone in on this, okay? Because what I tell people, like talking about healing isn't sexy. You do need to heal, right? Your
Of
program
course.
starts. It's like you do need to heal. But when you're going into dating and it's this complaining energy or this bad happened to me or this bad happened, like that is not great energy. But what you talked about is growing, improvement. And that
It's
is
yeah.
incredibly sexy. Yeah.
Because now I can imagine you helping me when I'm messing up. I want to have a conversation with you and I want to pick up because I read in between the lines with the female. I don't care about what you're saying. I'm looking at your actions. I'm looking at how you treat me because I teach it. I'm not gonna sit here and be a hypocrite, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm reading out, okay, if she's complaining about her company, now when I start my business, and when I have my business, when it's exactly where I want to be, can she tell me the same things she's telling her company to myself? And now I'm like, now I see you as a queen who I can build my empire with. And now you're just not a girl. You're just not
Right.
just a woman, you know? And again, it's not, this is not the quote unquote tactics. It's so much deeper than that because I'm looking for long-term fulfillment, not excitement. Excitement is great. It's great for a couple of months, great for the honeymoon phase. We're having like, great intimate, whatever. And now, but then after a while, you realize, all right, now I have to fall in love with who you are and not everything you just provide or give me.
So, what do you, as you think about overcoming trauma, and bringing that journey of self discovery, what is your favorite exercise or favorite strategy to help people in their own journey to learning who they are, that journey of self discovery?
Um, One thing that I really, really love teaching my clients and just working for myself is I ask myself 3 questions every couple of hours
Okay.
throughout the day. Um, how am I feeling right now?
Uh-huh.
Am I happy? Am I sad? Am I depressed? Am I anxious? Whatever it is. And then after that, I say, all right, if I'm happy, I'm like, cool, great. I
Mhm.
don't have to answer any more questions. I'm in a good place. If I'm sad, anxious, I go to the next question. Um, can I do, why am I feeling this way?
So,
Am I
how do
feeling
I
this,
feel?
how to feel?
Why am I feeling this way? Okay.
Why? So,
Okay.
and I try to track back. All right, what happened today that made me feel this? What happened today that triggered this moment in me? What happened? And if I can get to that root cause, then ask myself again, can I do something about it?
Mm.
If I can't, I just have to sit there and just let it be because I'm like, it's not going to help me. It's not going to benefit me. But if I can, I just act on it immediately so I can change or shift that mindset away from that negative feeling or whatever it is.
Mhm.
And I think that's kind of it's. I'm a firm believer in being self-aware.
Yeah.
Constantly be self-aware. Constantly ask yourself, how am I doing? How am I doing? Check in with yourself. It's like having that. I like to also do like having talk with a little kid, with a little version of you, like a young version of you, like a little the healing child, the one in pain, where you tell them, hey, how are you? What happened? Oh, she rejected you. I'm so sorry. Well, she didn't. You know what I mean? It's not you. It's like literally talking to him or her as like a child and being there for them. And then like again, it's like small, you, older, and they're just kind of going through a cycle of just conversations.
I love it. Imad, thank you so much for coming on Toxic Person Proof. Any last nuggets of wisdom or, we'll tell people where they can find more about you. And then I would love to know, like, the one thing that you just kind of wish the whole world knew.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question. And this is something that I learned over time. And I think I told you this before. Um, Before you can heal your future, you have to heal your past.
Mm.
Always remember that. it starts at the root cause, no matter what, because those are specific weeds that are, if you don't pull them out, they're going to keep following you for the rest of your life. They're going to block you and they're going to be obstacles. And you have to heal yourself before you can even move forward and progress anything in life, relationships, career, whatever it is.
Mhm. So I have a phrase I think you'll like. It says, you have to know yourself to grow yourself.
I love that. I
Yeah,
love that.
you're like, yes. Imad, well, tell people where they can find more about you.
So you can find me on Instagram, Imad Speaks, and on my podcast. I have a podcast as well. It's called Becoming High Caliber. And if you guys are following me, I have a new book coming out in the next couple of weeks. So that's going to
Oh,
be
that's awesome.
exciting.
What's the name of your book?
Becoming High Caliber, the system to attract the guys you actually want. So it's more focused towards my female clients.
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for helping us on our journey to becoming toxic person proof.